Hello, I'm Jay Rempe. I'm Senior Economist for Nebraska Farm Bureau, and I'm here today to give a little bit of the state on agriculture. Every year we have Governor Ricketts do his State of the State on Nebraska, and of course you have the President do their State of the Union, so we thought that we would try something this year and do a State of the State on agriculture. And what we'll try to do is look at what's happened where we're at right now, coming out of 2016, and then look forward a little bit into 2017 and see if we can project a little bit what to look for in the oncoming year. So as we said here right now, farm income, as probably everybody knows, has been down quite a bit over the last 3 years since we hit highs in 2013. If you look at the U.S. as a total, farm income is down 42% since that time period, if you look at projected U.S. farm income. And Nebraska is no different, and the chart that you can see now shows the Nebraska income plotted over a few years, and you can see we hit some highs in 2011 and 2013, and since then we've fallen off. And in 2016 we're projecting it to be about $4 billion, which is off quite a bit from what is prior. So farm income's coming off, so how does that manifest itself in what's happening out there in the farm economy? Well, this next chart, if you look at it, comes from the Federal Reserve Bank, and it's looking at just the 10th district out of Kansas City, which Nebraska is a part. The bar chart, what it's measuring, it's asking bankers, are things better off, worse off, or about the same as last year? And a reading 100 on this chart means that bankers are kind of split. Some think better, some think worse. So anything below that 100 shows that bankers are thinking things are worse off than last year. And you can see that the bar chart shows farm income, and that's off quite a bit. I think what's interesting about this chart, though, is it shows spending, at farm household spending, as well as capital spending on their equipment and farm machinery and the like. See, the bankers show those are off a lot from prior years, and on the chart they're showing record lows compared to earlier years. So we're seeing that manifest itself in the Nebraska economy. We're hearing about state receipts being down. We're hearing about how the economy is slowing down in rural Nebraska, and I think this is a large reason why. So that's one manifestation of the farm income. So then you're asking about some of the underlying health and how the farm economy or how the farm households are doing. And this next chart kind of gives a little glimpse of that. And one of the things that we see, farm loan numbers are up. Farmers are turning to their financial institutions and others to borrow some money to finance their operations. We start looking at loan repayment rates and things and seeing, because of this decline in farm income, are we seeing some falls in the loan repayment rates? And this chart shows that, yeah, again, this came from the Federal Reserve Bank. This is a nationwide look now, not just in the 10th district. This shows the measurement of percent of loans that are non-performing, or those that are falling behind in their payments. And you can see that from hitting a low in 2015, they are starting to tick back up again. But the good news is they're off, or in comparison to earlier years, a few years back, it's not near as bad as it was then, and we're back comparable to what we saw prior to 2010, before we saw the run-up in farm income. So while, yeah, there's a bit of the farm income numbers are leading to a bit of a struggle, it's not, we're not seeing it rise to really worrisome levels yet, but it's growing. The other way we can look at how that's manifesting itself is working capital. And this next chart shows us that the Nebraska farm business, they use working capital as a percent of gross income to measure the liquidity of the business. How well can the farm business pay its bills and keep operating through the next year? And you can see in this chart that working capital levels are down below what they consider to be the goal, which is about 33% of gross income. But so there is a little bit of a cash crunch going on there. This chart goes through 2015. We don't have 2016 figures yet, but I expect they will come in a little bit below that threshold as well. So there is a bit of a cash crunch going on now. Farmers are feeling a cash squeeze because of the income levels. Now, the good thing is, though, in terms of overall solvency, the farmers are hanging in there pretty good. And this next chart shows the debt to asset ratio. And that kind of gives a measure of the long-term solvency of a farming operation. And here, the measure that you try to meet is 30%. You can see we're a little bit below that. But for the long term, we're still setting pretty good. And that's because while farmland values have come off a little bit, asset values are hanging in there pretty well. And so what we're seeing right now, if I could sum it up in the status quo, is that farm incomes are down, ranchers are tightening their belts, they got a bit of a cash crunch in the near term, In 2016, the yields that we saw, the production levels that we saw, and the farm income or farm bill payments helped. And so we got a bit of a cash crunch, but long-term liquidity or solvency right now, the farming operations for the most part are pretty good.